Happy Friday, guys. Hope you're doing well. We're going to get going on class because we got a quiz as well, and I want you guys to brainstorm or work together on your journals from those primary sources last night. So here we go. Um, we're going to do Journal 8. Before we get to that, I want to make sure you know this because some of you guys don't have remind text. I am not going to be with you all semester physically at all, starting Tuesday if you're going to be in person. I will be virtual all semester, which I'm not happy about. You already hear all the stuff that's happening in terms of it's just not working really smoothly compared to what in class would look like for me. So students, if you're physically going to school, you're going to meet in the SHAP court, third period. Please bring headphones and obviously a mic so you can respond, so you're not rude and not everybody's hearing my voice in that period because there's going to be a bunch of students there as well. Could be distracting, but again, keeping the headphones on would help you guys focus a little more. So I'm just letting you know. Any questions, let me know on that. So what you're going to do right now is you're going to go on. I'm going to put you in breakout rooms. It's a quick checklist. You're going to pick whether or not this topic is Federalist or Anti-Federalist. Okay? The breakout rooms of two are also going to be who you're going to be working with your Federalist papers and your Brutus papers today, later in class. Okay, I want to make sure we do this so we kind of have a review before the quiz, which is going to happen right after this. So I'll give us about 5 minutes to do this. Any questions before I start? Again, go to Google Classroom, grab journals 6 through 10. Do you guys have that? I want to make sure you have it before I release this. Okay, so you can see I've already completed them all. All you're putting is an X. Don't put a check as in class. You could easily put a check. Just put an X next to the one on either side, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. All right, breakout rooms, here we come. Okay, so you guys went through this list. Easy, I hope. It shouldn't be tough. Does anyone have a tough one? Anyone find one tougher than the others? Number 17. Did anyone find the answer for 17?
Anti-federalists?
Why do you say that?
Well, because if they believed a strong executive government would equal monarchy, and they were against monarchy, and they're also against strong executive government.
So you read
They
it
made that
correctly,
connection.
because if you read that, maybe it looks like they believe they liked a strong executive. No, it's the idea. I know it's short, like note kind of thingy, but it's they believe this group believed that a monarchy, I mean, a strong central government would equal the monarchy, and that's what we hated. So it's anti-federalist for that one. So please check all of your answers. There are check marks. Hopefully, you can see those green check marks just to make sure you guys are on par. The quiz today will have, I think, people in it, meaning Madison J, Patrick Henry, stuff like that. So just kind of get a, use your brain to look at them to see who's on what. So I would just know one of the groups, and if you don't see their name, um, it's the opposite group, obviously.
It's Graham.
Yeah.
Could you explain number 13?
People, instead of, it's like when a monarchy, we weren't allowed to really talk because the king or queen would tell us what to do. So that's what they felt was not free. So they fought over the idea that you have to actively participate in order to be free, in a sense. Like that gives you your freedoms, your liberties, what they felt was a human right to have those freedoms go on. And if you didn't have the chance to voice your opinion, that was something that upset them. And that's kind of what led to the civil liberties and the Bill of Rights being created, to protect those people, especially the minorities. Okay, anybody else?
Can you explain number 11?
So in smaller communities like states in this situation, Republican governments, meaning it's not Republican Party, representation in a government, Republican form of government, uh, they work if people have the same values and wealth, meaning for anti-federalists, they believe that because they were all landowning elite at the time back then, they were the ones that wanted to protect that power. They believe that government works if we have representation for us. So there's people that are protecting our stuff. I don't know if that makes sense. That's a tougher one, more of an obscure one. Anybody else? So good. So go ahead and get out Nearpod, guys. This was an easy journal worth 10 points. Again, I want to make sure you know that you work hard for me on some journals like these primary sources, and then it's really easy checklists like this. Now, remember, when you get to this quiz, there are going to be 2 codes on the board for accommodations, extra time, and then for normal, no accommodations. The first one you'll see is on the right will be accommodations. I know who should be in there. I have it on my little seating chart here. So please do not join if you do not have accommodations. And when you call political cartoons to start while we're still finishing the other one, does anyone want to take the main idea of the first one? Remember, there are people who cannot get any points. You've maxed out for the week. Everyone else can get these points. Charles?
This is another example of a conservative cartoon poking fun at the Obama administration you can see the little Affordable Care Act cufflink he's got on there, and then an executive order going right over the Constitution.
All right, and you got max out points. Nicely done. Thank you for that. Next one, because we're going to go a little quicker. These are all due with the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. This might be a tougher one unless you can figure out what the guy in the suit is.
Is this one talking about how like the right to bear arms might lead to like your death? Like, is the guy behind him like a mortician?
Very good, Ella. That's exactly what I'm looking for you to say. So they're just saying that if you live by the sword, which is you want the right to bear arms, and we see what's happened in recent years, is that it's not truly to protect yourself, It's to cause harm to others, especially in schools and massive shootings. They've been on the rise since the late 90s, and Columbine was the first one. And we don't want that to happen in our school. That's horrible that people are bringing in these assault weapons and killing indiscriminately in schools. So again, that's kind of telling you, is the Second Amendment right or wrong? Obviously, we have our own opinions about it. And lastly, this is going to be officially on your next test, the unit test. It's going to be one of the cartoons you see. It's from the 1980s. What's the main idea here?
Is it talking about how like I'm not really sure what the Philadelphia represents, but it the takes a licking keeps on ticking. Is it like will like persevere and like we the people that will always be like a standard?
Yeah, it's Philadelphia is where it was signed, where it was
Mm.
created, where it was philosophized. Um, but it's saying at this point, in 1980s, it was 200 years, like 1776 in a sense, or 1790 to 1990. It was the idea that it was 200 years since the Constitution, because that's we the people. Granted, it's been 30 years since, so it should be 230 since the Constitution was created. So takes a licking and keeps on ticking means what? It's going to persevere through the time. And if you see some of the test questions that you might see, or types of them, what's the Constitution's characteristic? Which of the Constitution characteristics does this cartoon address? This is about flexibility, about the amendment process, about that it changes with the times, and that's why it lasts so long. And then again, which article allows us to have that flexibility, guys? It's the article itself that tells us that we can change the Constitution. And it's obviously amendments, and you should know which number is that. Ty just simply got up and walked away because he didn't want to answer it.
5.
Thank you. It's 5, guys. And again, large elephants jump and why am I not getting it? And sit. No, I missed one. But that's how you would remember it. And is the obvious one that would be amendments. But again, that's how you would do it. And this is from the 1980s when they had a commercial. Timex takes a licking and keeps on ticking. So this is where the guy got the cartoonist got the idea from. It reminded me of Energizer Bunny for our modern times because I hate those commercials. Just keeps going and going. No, okay. We're going to skip some stuff because I want to give you guys the time. We're going to talk about amendments, and our governor has a bunch of amendments. You should have seen it on the video because I did end with that. So I'm going to put you back in the breakout rooms. You guys will have the next 30 would be 17 minutes to work with your partner.